you have a system that like a calling system from when you start, like you call this, and then after this one you call this one, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the first thing I do, obviously, is I go to the Great Vulcan Seven because I found those to be the best contacts. So typically, the first thing that I do is call the hot expires. I'm spending about 30 minutes trying to contact those hot expires. After that, around 8:30, I'm doing my lead follow up. So any hot leads or anything like that. And usually, then after that, I'm calling the for sale by owners. Usually, that's around 9 o'clock. And then come 9:30, I'm calling my database, and I take my time with my database. So I have that blocked from 9:30 to 10:30. Then I do another round on my expires. So the hot expires, I'll try them again. If no luck there, I'll kind of work into the older expires. So once I get through with that, I'm doing just listed, just sold.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Aaron Wittenstein, and I would like to welcome you to Vulcan 7 Roadmap. This is where we talk to agents across the country on how to take an additional 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 additional listings a week. All right. So we have we got just a good human being that I'm going to be chatting with today. Darren Brothers. He's out of North Carolina, Raleigh Durham. It's Raleigh Durham, right?
Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. Yes, sir.
And what do they call that there?
Well, you got the Tar Heel State, but the Triangle, Research Triangle Park. So that's where I'm at.
The triangle. That's what I remember. So we were talking a little bit before we hopped on here,
Mhm.
and I typically ask people, I'll give you tricks of the trade here. Okay. I'm
Okay.
like, what makes you special? And the first thing out of his mouth was family. And I think that is just so important. And then, so you got a couple of kids, is that right?
Yes, sir. I have two. I have a daughter who's 12 and a son who's 9.
And as we're saying, I have a son who's 12 and twins that are 9. So we already
Yeah.
hit like the same kid threshold there.
Yeah.
So within this business, we know, being a parent, or being parents, a lot of us are, a lot of us aren't. Okay.
Mhm.
Is that parenting itself takes up a lot of time
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
And it's hard when we run this business to not sacrifice the
Mhm.
time with our family for the work that we have.
Yeah.
So I don't like the word juggle because we don't really juggle. We just kind of make it work,
Yeah.
is the best way to put it. So how do you make it work without sacrificing this for that or that for this?
Oh, that's a great question. I believe that the schedule solves everything. So my goal every day is to be as efficient as possible, and make sure that I take care of my family, is of course, but also take care of my clients. So and the way to do that for me is to follow my schedule. I'm fairly hard set on that in the mornings. Then in the afternoons, if I have appointments, I'll go on appointments. If I don't have appointments, I'm back on the phone. But my goal every day is to be off and done by 5:30, so that when my kids come into the house and my wife comes into the house, then they can get their time. So
Okay, so every top producer that I speak with has a schedule that they follow. I'm assuming your schedule is a written schedule that you have either written on a piece of paper, on your calendar, on your Google stuff, wherever that is. Is that right?
yeah, it's pretty much all around me. I keep my Google Calendar pulled up here. I actually have a physical calendar right here as well. So I'm always looking at my calendar.
Okay, so walk me through the day, if you would be so kind. Like from the moment you wake up,
Yeah.
what does Darren's schedule look like throughout the day?
Great question. So usually I rise around 4:15, no later than 4:30. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier, just because it's kind of at a point where my body will just wake up. But the goal is to be in the gym at the gym by 4:15. Usually I'll wrap up around 5. And then after that, once 5 o'clock comes, my gym isn't too far away.
Can I ask a question before we
Yep.
continue? Is that okay? Sorry, I'm raising my hand like I'm in third grade right now. Okay, so how long? Because people like I'm up at 5:30, and they're 5:30. That's aggressive for me. Okay,
Mhm.
so number one, what time are you going to bed at night?
Usually around 9:30 ish. I'm
Okay,
in the bed.
how long did it take you to get into that routine of waking up at 4:15 in the morning?
Um, I don't know. I've been doing it for a long time. So I played, and when I went to college in North Carolina Central, I went and I played football. So
Mm,
really, they really didn't care about what you wanted to do. You do what you're supposed to be there on time, and we had early morning workouts. So I pretty much carried that throughout, my life, really. And then also after finishing up with college, I actually taught. So I was a teacher as well.
Okay.
But taking care of my health has always been a priority. So I just never really lost that. I just always woke up early, went to the gym, then went to work.
So there's a lot of people out there that say, "Oh, that's just too early. I
Mhm.
can't do it. It's
Yeah,
just not going to work for me." And I'll be
yeah,
the first one to admit, like,
yeah.
it's a challenge for me. I mean, 4:15. I heard you in my mouth drop. You'll watch the you'll watch the conversation. You'll be like,
Right.
What suggestions do you have, if any, for people to get themselves in that routine?
That's a great question. For me, I'm just always thinking about like what's important, and one is my future is important, right? So I always want to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, and I find that the early morning is the best time to do that, so that I can actually then show up to be the best version of myself for my kids and also for my wife. But quite frankly, I also think about my. I'm from a big family, family of farmers. I also think about my family, and I know how hard they work, and it's just bigger to me, right? And that's just the reality of it. It's bigger to me. I think about my grandparents, my parents, my aunts, my uncles, but I'm also thinking about my kids and my kids' future kids. So when you think about it, when I look at it that way, it's really not hard at all.
Okay, you just gave me absolutely no excuse to not wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. My
Yeah,
wife is not allowed to watch this, by the way. Okay,
right.
so all right, so we got that. You're home by 5, from what 5:15, I would assume, right?
Yeah, for the most part, I'm home by 5:30, unless I have an appointment. My kids and my wife
Or I
understand.
meant 5:30 in the morning. I don't think you're running appointments at
Oh,
5:30 in the morning.
yeah, yes,
Oh,
correct.
who
Five,
the heck
yeah,
knows? I don't know. Who am
yeah,
I to
yeah,
judge?
yeah.
Okay, so when you get home from the gym, walk me through what the rest of the day looks like.
All right, so the goal, and this is the schedule's flexible, right? So a recent adjustment that I've made is because I've been playing around with this in the morning just to be as efficient and productive throughout the rest of the day. But a recent change that I made, probably been about a month ago now, is to come back home, read the Word, and pray and scribe, and that really helps me to get into the space that I need to be mentally. Um, and so so I allot 15 minutes for those things, and then after that then after that my kids are usually either up or I go wake them up. Usually I'm waking them up, and then we do breakfast. So I'll make breakfast for them, and we'll do that. And then after we do breakfast, I'm getting in the shower and making sure that I'm prepared and ready and dressed and ready for the appointment that I'm about to set.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. I'm ready for the appointment I'm about to set. That's the best thing I've heard in like the last 3 days. I absolutely love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So what time are you on at 8, or what time are you picking up the phone?
Yeah, usually it's 8 o'clock. So I'll start practicing. I do my own individual practicing at 7 o'clock. If I don't already have a role play partner scheduled for 7 o'clock, and then I'm a part of a role play group, and we will role play at 7:30. So once we wrap up that role play, I'm on the phones and you know prospecting at 8 o'clock.
And then typical 3-hour shift is what you're putting in right now.
Yeah, typically I'll do 3 hours. That's like my minimum standard. I try to go for 4 hours, but
Okay.
my minimum standard is to do 3 hours and then
So
check admin. Yep.
so when you say minimum, is it like you have a 4-hour minimum standard, or you have like a contact minimum standard, or an
Yep.
appointment minimum standard, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So my minimum standard is really 8 to 11. So it's a
Okay.
3 hour minimum standard, no matter what. Um, and also to do 31 contacts. So that's the bar that I've set for myself, and that's the commitment that I've made to myself and commitment I made to the people that decide to put me to work as well. So again, it's another obligation for me to make sure I'm held accountable.
Where does 31 come from?
That is a great question. So again, the schedule is flexible. So as my coach always says, and so I've been playing with it a little bit. I was doing 41 contacts a day, but what I found is I found myself so focused on the contacts that I would get some leads or scheduled appointments and not really prepare well enough for the appointment for the person that allowed me to come over to the house. So I just wanted to make sure that I scaled it back a little bit. And this is just through masterminds and talking to top agents. That's where I'm trying to get to. So I just scaled it back a little bit just to make sure that when I get the lead, when I get the appointment, that I'm really taking time to prepare and making sure they're in the best position possible.
Got it. And what, because like I said, I'm a firm believer we can control our time. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Everything else that happens is a product of our time. Okay.
Yep.
So in your perfect week, how many appointments set per week is like I hit my goal?
Great question. So the goal is to schedule three appointments. That's the goal. Go on two, right? And ideally take two, but really to take one, right? That's my mission every week.
And then you take one listing a week, right? By setting three
Yep.
appointments.
Yes, sir.
That's the you and I were like, it's a bald thing, by the way, because that's I have the same thing. Three appointments set, one will cancel,
You're right.
one, and then out of two, you take one, and boom,
Yep.
you took a listing a week. And I know
Yep.
see, we're like this, my friend, we're like this. So do you have a system that like a calling system from when you start, like you call this, and then after this
Yeah.
one, you call this one, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the first thing I do, obviously, is I go to the Great Vulcan 7 because I found those to be the best contacts, best way to contact the people that I'm seeking to go contact. So, and I actually have it written down over here. But yeah, so typically the first thing that I do is call the hot expires. So I'm spending about 30 minutes, trying to contact those hot expires. After that, around 8:30, I'm doing my lead follow up. So
Mhm.
any hot leads or anything like that, and usually it's not that many, maybe two, three. On a good day, four or five. Then after that, I'm calling the for sale by owners. Usually that's around 9 o'clock. And then come 9:30, I'm calling my database. And I take my time with my database, so I have that blocked from 9:30 to 10:30. And then I'll call the let me check. And then I'll do another round on my expires, right? So the hot expires, I'll try them again. And if no luck there, I'll kind of work into the older expires. So once I get through with that, I'm doing just listed, just sold.
Got it. No, it's
Yeah.
it's nice because I mean I have my system in place as well,
Mhm.
that works because if we just do it haphazardly,
Mhm.
it's just it's haphazard.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
best way. If there's no system, there's no success. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Coin that, by the way. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Love it.
so if you had to pick one, what would be your preferred or favorite that you're contacting?
Man, my favorite is definitely my database.
Okay.
My favorite is my database, right? I also like expires as well, right? So I that's and I don't know if that's just out of habit, but I just love the expires as well. They typically pick up the phone and we're able to have either a great conversation or not so great, but either way, I know where I stand. So
So let me ask you this, okay? Is that a lot of people are nervous about calling their database, especially if they haven't been in touch with their database, for
mhm,
a period of time.
mhm.
What have you used historically that's worked well as kind of like a re-engagement phone call?
Great question. Usually, it's a variety of things. So I'll schedule three, maybe four touches throughout the year. Then I have a category of people that I call once a month. The people that I call once a month is just, hey, it's your realtor, Darren Brothers, just touching base with you and see if you had any questions, anything I can lend my support to, or any services I can provide you through my connections. So just seeing how I can be helpful to them, whether it's a contractor, plumber,
Can
roofer.
you can you call me and pretend we haven't spoken in like forever?
Yeah, sure.
All right, give me a shout.
Yeah, ring ring.
Hello.
Good morning, Aaron Wisted, Darren Brothers, your realtor. How are you?
Oh my gosh, it's been forever, Darren. What's going
It's
on?
it's been a while. It's been a while since you purchased your last home, and I owe you an apology.
Oh, don't even worry about it. No, no, don't
Yes,
don't even worry about it. We've had like three kids since we talked to you last, and it's been a little crazy.
excellent, excellent. Well, Aaron, listen, I was just thinking of you. I don't want to hold you too long. I was just sitting here wondering if you had any real estate needs. I know with the summer coming up, kids just getting out of school. I know people are often thinking about projects around the house, or even potentially making a move, and just seeing if there's anything that I can do as a continued service to you to be helpful to you and your family this time.
No, I mean we may need someone to install some wallpaper down the road, but yeah, other than that, we're pretty good.
Excellent, excellent. That's awesome. So, and I have the probably the one of the best contractors in the area that I'm
Okay,
happy to connect you with. Make sure you're good to go.
that'd be great. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. How about yourself? How are you all liking the home? You happy where you are?
Yeah, we're good, man. We love it. It's getting a little tight, but I think we're good for the time being.
So it's getting tight with the two kids, and I know they're not getting any smaller.
No, they don't do that. They
They don't
definitely
do
don't do
that,
that.
do
No, they
they?
don't do that.
When did you have any plans of maybe making a move here in the future, or you feel like you're happy where you are for a while?
You know what? We're riding a 2.9% interest rate right now. So I know
Okay,
interest rates are higher. So I think we're just going to kind of hang out for a couple of maybe a year or two and,
good.
just kind of go from there.
Good. Excellent, excellent. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll just touch base every so often, see if there's anything that I can do to be helpful. Before I let you go, Aaron, I have to ask you, considering that the supply of homes is actually still low and sellers are walking away with a fistful of equity with the sale of their home, who do you notice looking at possibly selling a home or possibly purchasing a home that we can help?
You know what? My aunt may be doing something down the road, but nothing's like imminent right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, look, when she's ready, I'm ready. I'm always ready, as you know. So, do you think she'd mind if no pressure, no obligation? Do you think she'd mind if I gave her a call this coming week?
Yeah, I'm sure she can call her at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Perfect. I written that.
I'll let her know that you're calling. Don't call her like for a couple days. I'll let her know that you're calling her.
Well, you beat me to it. I appreciate that, and let her know that I'll be giving a call, and I'm gonna make sure she's taken care of. No obligation, no pressure. Just here when she's ready. Okay.
Oh, all right, cool. Thank you.
All right, Aaron. Listen, I appreciate you taking the time. Please give the family my best, and please don't hesitate to give me a call if we can be helpful.
Thank you. See, what I loved about what you did there is you were sincere.
Mhm,
Okay, like I don't know if you even noticed this,
mhm,
but you can tell that you're just like there is no ulterior motives.
mhm,
It came out that way,
mhm.
yet because we all know it's not what we say, it's
How you say it.
how you say
Yeah.
it.
Right.
Okay, and you were very like you were very calm, collected, and put together, right?
Mhm.
And I assume that's something. Is that a way you've always been, or have you kind of taught yourself to do that?
No, I've kind of always been that way, right? So it's I just believe that I prepare, and that's why I wake up early. I prepare, and when the opportunity comes, and when they present themselves, I just need to be ready. So and at the end of the day, I'm not here to try to force anybody to do anything. I'm just trying to find the people that are motivated to do something.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, so absolutely. I'm not here to force anybody to do anything. I'm really just here to be prepared and ready when the opportunity presents itself and find the people that are motivated to actually do something.
Exactly.
Right.
Because like you said, we can't make anybody do anything. We
Right.
can just reach out to enough people
Mhm.
that may want to do something to be able to cultivate kind of what we're going there.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, when it comes to calling the database, I know a lot of people are very like,
Mhm.
how can I put it? They're nervous, right? Like,
Mhm.
they're nervous about calling because
Yeah.
I think that what we do, it's easy to be rejected by people that you don't know,
Yeah.
right? But
Mhm.
when you're rejected by people that you do know, that hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, would you at least agree on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. People don't think about it that way.
Yeah.
So, what's your advice when it comes down to people that have a neglected database?
Man, that's a great question. So that's actually how I started out in real estate. Period. It's calling my database. Through COVID, I kind of fell back a little bit on that. But what I found through calling my database, what I found is you get to find out they'll hold up a mirror really quick, right? And I love to know the truth. I want to know the truth, right? So, for example, I had a really good friend that I called that was in my database, and he told me that, like, as a new agent, he said he don't do business with new agents. So, and I knew nothing about objections and handling objections at that time, but I really appreciated his honesty. But from that, we were able to have a conversation, and it was a fairly brief conversation, and it was something that him and his wife talked about. He thought about it, and they gave me a chance, and they have been amazing. Like I've done quite a few deals. I'd say on average, I do about 3 or 4 deals just from that connection with him,
Well,
because we were able to have an honest conversation. And I think that's it's difficult sometimes to be honest with yourself and to
yeah.
hear honesty. But I feel like that's where the growth is. That's where the real opportunity is. So, and that's the benefit for me when it comes to calling my database. They're going to be truthful with me. They're going to be honest with me. They're going to let me know, okay, hey Darren, I didn't like that so much. All right, so how can I be better so that I can take care of people better? So that's
You
what I love about the database.
you call 10 people out of your database. How many of those
Mm.
conversations are pleasant?
In my database, 10. So, yeah.
And see, I think where people go is like you call an expired. It's
Mhm.
challenging phone. I mean, if expired
Yeah.
FISBO, it's a challenging phone call, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I like what you do is you sandwich your database in there because
Mhm.
it's like, you know what, like I just got beat up or, I just got
Mhm.
yelled at or I just got whatever, but then you're making those warm phone calls. I like how you sandwich that in the middle of your day
Mhm.
because how long have you been doing that for? I mean, has that been for a while now?
Yeah, great question. So when I first started, that is all that I did. That was before I got into coaching. And then after I got into coaching, I kind of got more structure, more organization to who I'm calling and reaching out to. So yeah, I've been doing that for a while consistently. I've done it more consistently this year than previous years. But yeah, that's been the number one source of my business, even when I wasn't reaching out to them. So it only makes sense. I just firmly believe that we should be taking care of the people that we've been blessed or fortunate enough to actually meet that's willing to support you. So, yeah,
Yeah. And the easiest way to build that database is to
yeah,
call the expireds, the for sale by owners, and help you
yeah,
build, right?
yeah,
Because you can add more people into that, and you add them into your clients, and then it's
yeah,
just a
yeah,
circle of
yeah.
a circle of fun business, right?
Yes, yes, sir. That's really where your business is.
So let me ask you this: so out of everything you're doing right now, when it comes to your production, okay,
Yes, sir.
what are you most proud of when it comes to your production?
Hmm. Great question. What I'm most proud of, I'll say, is the level of persistence. Right. It's been there's definitely it's real estate, right? So there's challenges, there's different things that come up, and I think the main thing is just continuously being persistent, being consistent, and staying in a good mind frame, and just realizing, like the great Kobe says, is enjoy the process. The gold is in the process. It's not so much in just the destination. So I really appreciate the process. So
All right, so a new agent comes,
yeah,
knocks on your door, and
yeah.
says, "Darren, one piece of advice.
Mhm.
What are you going to give him or her?"
Man, my biggest advice would be enjoy the process. Right, life is short, as my coach Mike says. And none of us make it out alive, but enjoy the ride. Right, so it's great to have these goals, but man, what I really love about real estate is the fact that every single day I can wake up and figure out how can I be better. How can I be a better agent? How can I be a better person? How can I be a better father? How can I be a better friend? So that's the process that I really love. And in being able to talk to people on a continuous basis, they continuously hold that mirror up to you, and you got the choice to either do something about it and fix it, or ignore it. Right. So I
I
would
love
say be persistent, be consistent, and enjoy the process.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That's just I do, and I'm not just saying that to say that, just so you know
Yeah.
that. Okay, I love
Yeah.
that.
I appreciate it.
So I want to tidy this all up into a nice bow. Okay,
Mhm.
so what are your final last words for Vulcan Seven Nation?
Man, for Vulcan Seven Nation, listen. First off, I appreciate the service. That's somebody started it somewhere, right? So I appreciate the back end work that y'all have done that allows me to actually just pick up the phone and just easily call people and reach out to people that's in need of help and service. So keep up the great work. Continue to be persistent. Continue to be persistent. And yeah, look, it's all to the good, right? Either we win or we learn. So
We,
it's
we,
all to the good.
oh my, you and I need to hang out more often. Yes, we need to hang out. I'm coming to Raleigh Durham. Okay,
Okay, come
so
through.
all right, Darren. So someone from Sacramento, California, has a buyer that's looking to
Mhm,
move to Raleigh Durham, aka the Triangle. All right,
mhm.
how does one get in touch with you?
Yeah, I appreciate you plugged me in there. Yeah, my cell phone number, my direct cell phone number is 919-879-0829. Again, that's 919-879-0829. And my email is dbrothers, just like first initial D, last name is Brothers, and then realty at gmail.com.
Got it. Got it. All right, my friend. This was great. I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with us. Okay.
Thank you for having me, man. You're amazing. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that as well. So, otherwise, Darren, thanks for coming to hang out. Everybody else, go make some money. Take care of yourselves and be well.